Hey everyone, and welcome to the October edition of Fan Mail Friday. As you can see, I'm wearing my New York Yankees jersey because my New York Yankees are in the World Series. So that makes this a great October for my husband Michael and I, and we are rooting our Yankees on, and we are hoping that they can beat the Phillies and bring home a championship. So now you know what I do in October when the Yankees are playing baseball. I definitely sit in front of the TV and scream and yell and watch all of the games. So I hope you guys are having a nice fall. I can hardly believe that November is just around the corner, and so I hope that you guys are getting ready to enter the season of thanks and Thanksgiving and spend some time with your families around the holidays. We have a series of questions this month from Sarah, and Sarah lives in Ohio, and Sarah has asked me a bunch of writing related questions. So Sarah's first question is, how did you get published? Well, way back in 2002, I began reading books on how to get published, and I read books on how to write a book proposal and how to get out there and meet editors and agents. And so once I completed what is known in the industry as a proposal, which is 3 sample chapters, a complete outline, some other marketing materials, I went to a small local Christian writers conference and signed up for one-on-one sessions with different editors and agents, and I happened to pitch my manuscript to an editor who liked it, and a few months later she offered me a contract, and then we entered the year-long process of getting that book published. And so I'm a huge advocate of going to writers conferences. I'm a huge advocate of reading books on writing, because I think you really have to learn what's expected of you and get out there and learn from the best and meet and mingle with people to really get exposure and set yourself up to succeed. Second question Sarah asks is, did you enter a lot of writing contests before you sent the proposal for your first book? No, I did not. In high school, I had done a bunch of writing contests. In college, I was currently working for the student newspaper, and I simply was home one summer on summer vacation and was really kind of directionless, and I just prayed and I asked the Lord what he'd have me to do, and he brought to mind some material that I had been working on with high school girls in my church youth group, and I kind of took that and put it together in a book form and just went and pitched it. I really went not expecting to get a contract offer. I went to get some feedback, but I definitely recommend writing contests as a great way to get your feet wet, a great way to get some feedback on your work. And so I would say that if you can Google writing contests and find a contest that doesn't have a really large fee, then it's probably worth entering. But if they're asking for astronomical amounts of money or rights to redistribute your work or do all kinds of different things like that, then you might be a little iffy about entering your work in those contests. How long did it take you to finish your first book? Well, I spent all summer working on the proposal, which was the first 3 chapters of a 10-chapter book. And then I had 7 chapters to complete after I was under contract for the book. And I had 6 weeks off for Christmas break, because at the time I was a college student, and so I finished those remaining 7 chapters over that 6-week time period. Now, after I finished writing my first draft that I sent to my editor, she sent me back a lot of different corrections and changes and things that I had to rework. And so all in all, from start to finish, it was a 10-month process, I think, for me. Let's see. Sarah also asked, how many times were your ideas rejected, and how did you have the courage to keep trying? This is a really good question, and I was actually just asked it this week when I was speaking to a group of college students who, some of them are interested in the publishing field as well. And really, I got published on my first shot, which is a very rare thing, but that doesn't mean that every idea I've ever pitched has gotten picked up. I've had a lot of ideas that I've pitched subsequently that have either been turned down by my agent or turned down by various publishers. And so I would say that even though I have 10 books out there, I've probably had 10 to 15 more ideas that have just been shot down. And so it happens to everybody, even published authors. And the way that I keep going is I remind myself that it's God who brought me here, and it's God that's going to keep me here, and that really the Lord is going to fulfill his purpose for me. And it even says that in Psalm 138. And so it's important to know that the Lord will fulfill his purpose for you. But one thing that really keeps me going and keeps me encouraged is I've made friends with other published authors, and those people can tell me their stories of their own successes and failures, their own highs and lows. And so we kind of keep each other encouraged because we remind each other that A, God's in control, and B, there's usually going to be another good idea coming after a series of bad ideas. So I hope that this answers your questions. And for those of you who may have more publishing questions or any other type of questions, spiritual questions or questions about me, you can send me an email at fanmailfriday@beingagirlbooks.com, and I will get to your question in one of the coming months. So go Yankees, and I'll see everybody in November. Thanks.